is the Investor Connect podcast program. This is Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of the show, in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, private equity, family offices, and many other investor groups for startups and growth companies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Basil, thanks for joining.
Hey,
Great. Yeah, thanks for jumping on board. Looking forward to catching up. And how are things going for you guys?
good. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And sorry for that delay. Just like have weird internet connections right now. They're doing some fixes here, so I happen to be coincident with this meetings. So,
I see. Yeah, cool. So yeah, just wanted to catch up and see how things are going with Vimers. How do you say that?
Beamers.
Vimers, yeah. Sounds like you're doing some good things
So
there.
we're
And we'll see how that was going. And I'm glad to tell you about 10 Capital, but where are you guys with it today?
okay. So I believe like John, basically like from ESG Angels, like connected us. Like, so I'm interested to know more about like 10 Capital and how we can maybe do some fundraising for Beamers as well. A big high level kind of like picture. So Beamers is a YC startup, and in Silicon Valley, we're based in San Jose, California, and we've been working since a year on a product to animate images and stories to videos, make it like more engaging videos for brands, creators, designers, and B2B businesses, so they can engage better with their audiences by animating their still static photos to more engaging videos, and that's basically to convert more on their marketplaces or like expand their reach on social media. So in terms of traction, we are generating 100,000 video monthly. We have integrations with Canva, with Adobe Express, with Shopify. There are more than also 5 B2B clients like already now in the testing phase to use Beamers, and we're excited on how this can grow. Funding wise, we did like 2 million before with the backed by YC in a pre-seed, and now we open for the seed round. We're doing it in 2 phases. Like first phase would be like 1.5 million, the other one like to be decided like later. So I'm looking roughly like for 3 million in total, and everything is in safe terms. So that's like in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer all your questions. Can dive into the details as you like.
So is that a pre-money safe note or a post-money safe note?
So you can do either way. So if it's like pre-money safe, it will be like at a 30 million valuation with a 15% discount. If it's like post-money, it will be 31.5, right? So your choice, you can do either way.
And if it was
So
post-money,
previously
what
on
would it
the
be?
post-money would be 31.5 million for the valuation count.
So it's 13 million for pre-money and 31 million for post-money. Is that right?
Yeah, assuming the phase 1 would be 1.5 million. That's the ask. And we already have 125K committed from that 1.5. And we previously did the pre-seed on 20 million valuation. So it's kind of like,
so I heard 1.3 for the pre-money. I heard 3.1 for the post-money. Did I hear that right?
so the ask is 1.5 million.
Uh-huh.
If it's pre-money safe, it will be at 30 million valuation cap. If it's post-money, it will be 31.5 million. So you're just adding the 1.5 to it, and it will be 31.5 million for valuation cap. And discount would be,
Well, the difference between 13 and 31 is, what is that? Is that $17 million? $17.5 million? Is that what? Oh, $18.5 million is the difference there. Is that right?
how do you compute that? Sorry.
Pre-money is 13 million, 13 million. Post-money is 31.5, 31.5 million is the post.
Yeah, it's 30, not 13. 30.
30.5?
Yeah. And then 1.5 on top of it, which is our ask, that would be 31.5. Make sense now?
Well, typically the post-money is the pre-money plus the investment round. So if I take 13.5, that would be 14.5 million pre-money going to post, but it goes to 30.5. How does the math work there?
Hold on. So this one here, this is basically our ask. So this would be like, if you want to do like, it will be 30 million for pre-money or 31.5 for post-money. Is that clear?
Okay. So it's 30, it's 30, not 13. I got you.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That's what I'm saying. So just easier.
There you go. And how do you arrive at the 30 million?
Oh, okay. So like we did the preset like earlier with a 20 million valuation. That was like even like 2 years back. Right now we have like a good traction. So we're generating like hundreds of thousands of videos. If you actually like check what exactly our competitors in the market, let me show you their rounds, for instance, right? So you can see like they are raising at much crazier valuation. So if you think this is like so high, like our competitors are raising for the same round like 60 million and 80 million.
What kind of revenue do you
valuation.
have so far?
Runway?
You're pre-revenue, right? You don't have, you
Revenue,
haven't.
yeah, we're generating 20,000 revenue like monthly. So like our annual for the year, so we expect to hit like around between 160 and 200,000 for this year. We
Okay.
just like launched actually in May, so it's not even like the full year. But in terms of like for the next years, this is like I expect like the 6 years projection. So you can see like we're really aiming like for big numbers. I think the market we're in, it's really booming. For that digital advertising, it can hit like easily like in billions in 5-6 years.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people doing this. How are you different from the competition?
Exactly. So, and then that takes me to this slide. So, which is basically, yeah. So they're like Runway, Leah, so Leonardo, Luma. So those are like all big campaigns that they're doing best and greatest, right? So I think what we as VMers, we can win this because we are differentiated in number of items. Like, so we're the only one that's doing more customization and more motion controls. Like there's some the GenAI based motions and there's parallax motions. I can explain more like in a bit. But we also have that we're the only one with the batch processing capability, like processing hundreds of images at once. Among the few with the API solutions, among the few with we do the integration on other platforms, and that give us edge and access like to much wider like user base. And also we're cheaper. All these others are really focusing after like B2C markets, like for film productions and maybe AI creators, hobbyists. In our case, like we're really B2B focused for like e-commerce branding and marketplaces, and those are very big in terms of like the volumes. So I think like that give us like there's a huge like market and need, and we are geared for those kind of like markets.
So how much cheaper are you than the nearest competitor? How much is it?
Oh,
10%
yeah. So
better, 50%, 100% better?
we're cheaper and we have like more controls over the motions, and we give like same kind of like quality in terms of like the generations, right?
But
It's
how
really
much
about like
cheaper are you than competition? Is it in
it
numbers? What
depends.
is that competition? What's that advantage?
Yeah, so like in terms of pricing, for instance, like our each video generation takes between like 18 to 28 cents for each video. Like our competitors, it depends also on the motion. Some of them are really going like between 20 to 40 to $1 even. So that's kind of like its range depending on the how length the video and how much compute like you have. But we are the cheapest solution on scale. If you are generating like so many videos, that would be the cheapest. And we also have this like more strong like API and also more like batch processing capability, right? So if imagine yourself like marketplace with thousands and thousands of listings, all of them are just like images. Like we can transfer your entire catalog like in just like matter of like few hours.
All right. So it looks like you're about 50% cheaper. You're about half the cost.
It varies per solution, right? So like Leah, for instance, like they're doing it for what's Immersity, they're doing it like for 50 cents. We're doing it like 50% in this case. But Runway, it depends on the version as well. So they're doing it between 20 cents to larger. So we are either comparable or cheaper slightly. So it varies per comparison.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
and this is the TAM. If you see, this is like really we're after the digital advertising market, and it's like in 2030, the studies like shows it will be like in 1 trillion basically. And you can see the channels we're after is basically the online stores, creator platforms, marketing agencies, marketplaces, and even the marketplaces. You can see all of those different channels, right? So whether like you're doing it for e-commerce, retail, or real estate, or food delivery, or like travel and hospitality, there are like so many big markets. All of them are just like listings of like images, and that we can really help like disrupt the way that they're doing.
okay.
And maybe we jump like really quickly here, so I can show you more from the beginning what exactly we're doing here. So yeah, so if we skip this things, for instance, like if you have like an input image, we can really like make it more accurate. You see here like the animations, and then you can add like your own marketing materials on top of that, and then shoot it like on social media or on your marketplaces. So that's like far more engaging as opposed like to the still photo here. And you can see that kind of like this is the parallax motion, for instance, where you have like still like images, and then you just like moving your videos around. So you get like it's more deterministic in nature. And then there's this like AI motion, which is basically more dynamic. So You can see things like falling, for instance, here for the Cheetos, or like more liquids moving, or the burger kind of like rotating all over, right? So you can see like this can be also useful for restaurants. If you're doing even like on the checkout cart, you can do like, instead of having this as a still thing, so it would be more like catchy video that make it more engaging and increase like the conversions.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. Okay. Well, good. Yeah. So how many logos do you have signing up, designing in your tool right now? You said you're in Canva and others. Are you actually in those right now and talking to them,
we
or are
just
you
launched with
just
Adobe Express
designing with them?
Yeah, so like Canva, Shopify were there. So we launched with Adobe Express just like 2 days back. And those are like mainly like branding and marketing agencies, they are doing it. Actually, like, so let me see if I can show you a quick demo of that. So if you go like to Canva here, for instance, which is like, it's really booming and we get like so many like users trying it. So if you find like in Canva, for instance, let me open just like empty design here. And then so under the apps, there's something called like image animate. If you go like to like AI powered things, like this is like the app. If you want to use it, like for instance, like in the design, it's basically you just upload an image and then select it like do. So let me open this one here. Yeah, once you open this is like the design, this is like the kind of like interface here. So you just upload like any image you want. Let me, for instance, like say like this burger here. And then if I go with this image animate, so you just like selected this one here, you can customize the motion range, length, speed. You can select like either AI motion or parallax motion, and you can see like different patterns, for instance, if I want to generate. Or maybe like just like do the AI, for instance, and then I can have more motion, less motion, or just generate this one here. I click on this one here, it takes literally just like 1 or 2 minutes, and then you get it back like as a moving video. So as simple as this.
Yeah. Are you a B2C model or a B2B2C model?
B2B2C. We work like through making this available, and actually the go-to market whole. So what we're doing here is actually we integrate with these like large platforms, and that give us access to a much wider like user base, build awareness, help us like collect more relevant data for our own training and improvements of AI models, and also brings tons of traffic for our like website, right? So it's kind of happening all for free without like wasting money on marketing, and it's all organic. At the same time, it's really help us like, because other competitors, they are not there, like, so they are not on Canva, they are not on Adobe, they're not there, right? So we're kind of like the only options for thousands or millions of like users there, like if they want to animate or generate like these kind of like motion videos.
So yeah, B2B2C is much preferable to B2C. You know, the cost of sales and marketing
Exactly.
is much less with that, and you get access to existing networks versus having to build it from scratch. And
Yeah.
so, which of these groups have you had discussions with, like Canva and others, that say, "Yeah, we're interested in designing it in, and they're testing it now"?
Yeah, and it's actually being growth like since like May, like in with Canva, like we're generating bulk of like our revenue. It's actually coming like from Canva users or Canva. Like we started with Canva in hybrid mode. Like Canva was kind of like paying for the incentive credits we have like for available free for their users. And then once their users like hit that kind of cap, like they purchase credit directly from us and continue to use like VMers, right? So yeah, so we're open, we're experimenting with so many like different like options there. And we continue like to rebase, and whenever like you have like new models like being generated, like for instance, like whether like from Stability or Luma or Leah or these things, like, so if those are available, we can access and serve it to our clients. So we build on top of that. So because every time like in the AI market, there's this like race and there's new models, so we can easily rebase and continue to serve. So we're not really competing in terms of the model itself, but we can really, the way that we're offering to the clients, it's what will give us like differentiation and edge on top of others, right? And you can see the differences. I just like generated this video here. You can do like the ranking, you can just like add it to your design, and then you can see like you can play that as a video again, right? So it's as easy as this one here.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that sounds cool. So on our side, what we do is we help you raise funding. Your valuation is a little high for our investors, angel groups, VC funds, and family offices are looking for something a little bit earlier. But same time, what we do is take your deck out to our network and build a list of interested people, have you pitch online and then in person and then through dinner events. It's $3K a month for a 3-month commitment to go through the program. Yeah, people start with us when they've finished and run out of investors. Have you run out of investors, or are you still talking to people?
I'm doing it in a lean mode. I'm not really pushing it. My main focus is really to onboard like more B2B clients and things like so. But I'm open. I'm pitching like depending on the events like nearby, like in the Bay Area.
Okay,
So
we'll actually be there. October 8th will be our next Bay Area event. We'll be there at Palo Alto. So we do have pitch slots if you're interested in joining us at that event. I'll send you more detail about how we work after we finish here. If you're interested, let us know. Love to have you in the program. But like I say, you've got a good model there, got a good topic. AI enablement is half of what we do right now. So it's a very popular place to be. I think the key thing the investors want to know is, how that traction is going with the design ends, the Canvas and so forth, who's using it, how much they're using it, daily, weekly, monthly active use, and how you compare to the other things that they're looking at. They don't always tell you everything, but they sometimes tell you something about how you're doing. You're leading the group, you're in the middle, you're trailing behind it. Usually they give you some color around that.
Yeah. So
have they ever told you anything about how you compare to the others in their group?
So last month, for instance, on Canva itself, like we served more than 30,000 users with the generating this, or we generated like 100,000 video. I think like I'm not sure about the comparison because there's no other tools like doing the exact same thing we're doing there. So that gives us like differentiation also. I'm not saying like it would be hard for competitors to come to that space, but for the moment, actually, like we continue to iterate and improve on those aspects.
Right. Okay. No, that sounds good. Well, good. Well, let me send you more details about how we work, and you can talk to your team to see if that's a good fit for you guys. Did you have any questions about your deal? What's any questions about strategy that you're looking to answer?
So this is my concern. Like, so angel investors like sees us as kind of like expensive because like the valuation is kind of like higher than what they anticipate. But at the same time, like we're really in a market that's very hot, and my competitors are rating at much crazier like amounts. So the thing is like for people familiar with the market, they can see it like very clearly. Would be a great deal. If they are not really familiar, like they will push back on the valuation. So, what's your advice on pitching that?
Yeah, so you're on the VC track, and VCs, I guess, are used to those numbers in some sense. And so for that crowd, you have the right number. When you go outside that world to the angel or the family office where they're not on the VC track, well, then they're not used to that number. And what you often do to kind of level the playing field for them is to give them warrants. You basically give them additional shares for coming in early because we need the money now to do something, and we're willing to give them warrant coverage. And warrants are just stock with options components to it that they can use later. And 7, 10, 15% warrant coverage. Sometimes you can put enough warrants in there to get the valuation back down to 10, 15 million where they're used to it. And for the right investors at the right time, usually it's time-based. If you come in this month, I'll give you warrants. Come in 3 months from now, I'm not going to give you any warrants because they're missing the window. I need the money now. So that's where warrants really come in handy, is use warrants to get specific people into the deal when they're doing something for you. And investing in a certain time frame can be that. If they're giving you connection to other investors, that's another reason to give out warrants. But it's not just free money, it's money for a certain reason. So and your valuation stays the same. They're just going to get more shares to get to the valuation that they're going to be comfortable with.
But when we say the warrants, like, isn't that like same as the discount? So when we say like, for instance, like the discount or the valuation cap, like, so it works either way, right?
Well, you're at heart, you're diluting yourself by giving out warrants and so forth, because those warrants should typically come out of the founder's shares. And like I say, in certain situations, the right 100K at the right time can really make the difference in closing a sale or getting a product out or whatever. It's not for everyday use. It's for once in a while when we really need to get something done, we'll do that, because you are diluting yourself. And that's the key thing with warrants is it's not free money. It's money that's going out the door. But for the right thing, it is strategically useful in some cases. And like I say, right now, it's kind of tough with the VCs. They're just not investing like they were a couple of years ago, but angels and family offices still are. And so a lot of people are shifting in that direction for right now. But once that valuation is up there to 30, most angel groups aren't taking you. And a lot of angels have some heartburn about that. So if you can get it back down to 15, well, now that becomes another option for you to consider.
It would be like much lower than our pre-seed. Actually, we did the pre-seed with 20 million, so that would be like down. I don't want to go in that direction. That's kind of like, and I already have like people committed with the 30 million, so that will not be also good for them, right? So
well, getting you back down to 20, something like that, where you're not below the original price, so it's technically not a down round. If you can go back down to where it was originally, that's just raising more money at or above the current valuation of 20. So you can just go to 20 and see. Most angel groups won't do that, but individual angels will. Some angels will be happy with 20, and it's always a negotiation. You figure out if those who are interested, what will it take to get them in the deal, and then you decide if you want to do that. But to your point, you don't want to put out a down round, because that's not a good thing to have. But if you go to 20, you're not technically a down round. We're flat. and that's fine. People understand being flat from time to time.
Okay. For your event on October 6th, I think, like, so can we join it and pitch even if we are not members? Or
You have to be in the program, and it's a 3-month commitment, and it's just part of it. Yeah.
Okay. So the concern I have is like, I'm not sure if what we have at the current valuation would resonate with the investors in your network or not. So that's why I'm not sure if we should do it or not. That's kind of my hesitation.
When you sign up, you're in for 3 months, and so you could potentially go to the Bay Area, could go to New York, could go to DC. And then there's online events, and there's dinner events, and there's quite a bit of other programming going on. But if you want to just do the Bay Area event, well, it is there, and then we could do dinner events afterwards. Oftentimes we use dinner events to close because Zoom is a great way to open these dialogues, but to close, really, you have to be in person. So if you did the Bay Area event, we would then go back and start setting up follow-up meetings with all the people that came to the Bay Area event. You could use that as a strategy, just focus on all the people out of the Bay Area event. Typically 20, 25, 30 investors in the room, half are interested in your deal, and then you go and you follow those guys up very aggressively. And we can help with that. We can try to get broader people involved with some online events too.
Okay. And you said it's 3,000 per month for 3
That's right.
months.
And the
So
only
that's
other cost is
9,000
the
minimum.
cost of the food, but there is no success fee, there is no equity, no warrant, none of that. It's just that.
Okay, well, we'll keep in mind. So maybe I'll see like other things, and maybe we'll let you know later. So right now
Okay.
I'm trying to build like more traction, even like about like more B2B clients. So the valuation is justified. I don't want to reduce the valuation. I want people to know it's really something promising.
Sure. I understood. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time.
Appreciate that help. So have a good day.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Paul T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.